Alright, what's up guys? Today I'm giving you my review on Assassin's Creed Unity, which is the first AC game I buy for myself on console. I played AC, the one that was on PSP a long time ago. I beat it, but other than that, I didn't really play any. I know I remember I played AC2, I think, and a little bit of AC Brotherhood, but I just played the beginning of those games, so it's not like if I really played that game. So yeah. Now, if some of you remember, about a year ago I did a video where I told you I hated games with yearly release, and AC was one of those games. And I still don't like that politic, of releasing a game every single year. I don't like that. And the only reason why I bought this was because Project Cars got delayed. And out of all the other games, Far Cry 4, Dragon Age, wasn't really interested in any of those. So I was like, well, I guess it's time for me to try AC. And here we are. Today I'm giving you my review. So let's start as usual with the story. Abstergo, a big corporation, is trying to change the history by discovering the secrets of the precursors. To do so, they need to find the bodies of some people that have a good amount of the precursor's DNA and analyze it. Now, you in the game, you are playing as just a random guy who is given the task to play as Arnaud during the French Revolution, because at some point Arnaud was in contact with one of those persons, and your job will be to find who it was before Abstergo. Overall, the story in AC Unity is good, even though it's not the most original, because basically it's just a revenge thing, I would say that what makes it interesting are the characters. Most of them are likable enough and have strong personalities for you to follow. For example, I think about the main character, Arnaud or Elise. Those were good characters and I really enjoyed following them throughout the story. Something I really like is how they used some real event of the French Revolution in the story. For example, early in the game you escape from a prison, which is La Bastille, and you are doing that during La Prise de la Bastille, which was a real event that happened during the French Revolution. And they did the same thing with some other important dates of the French Revolution history in the game, and I really like that. Good job. Now, one of the only complaints I have with the story in this game is the fact that they don't explain where that sword comes from. The sword at the beginning, they don't explain what it is, they don't explain anything about it. And that is not okay. Yes, this is my first AC game, but still, you should at least explain what it is. Come on. So yeah, but overall, like I said, the story is good and I really enjoyed it.
Tu préfères t'asseoir à côté de ce vieux pruneau. Allez, viens. Par ici.
Visually, for an open world game, AC Unity looks really good. I mean, the characters, the environment, the lighting, oh man, it looks pretty damn good. Let's start with the characters. Most of the main characters looks really good. I would say that the only thing that does not really blend well is the hair, because when you look at the hair of some characters, not all of them, but some of them, it's like it was two different pieces, the hair and the body. It doesn't really blend well as one piece, one body, but overall the character looks really good. For the environment, there is a lot to say. First thing is the city, Paris. Paris looks beautiful. beautiful. The texturing and the lighting is on point. Outside and inside looks really good, and you have a lot of details everywhere. I mean, everywhere you go. And if there is one thing that you cannot miss, is the amount of NPCs at once on your screen. It is impressive. The only time I saw something similar in a video game, at least from the games I played, was in Hitman Absolution. In some missions you had a lot of people at once on the screen, but in AC Unity it's constant. Almost everywhere you go you'll see a good amount of people at once on the screen, and it's very impressive. Very impressive. Now, it's not perfect. Sometimes you'll see people appearing or disappearing from nowhere. Sometimes you'll see people changing clothes when you get close to them and that kind of stuff. And it's not always smooth. Now, I'll come back to this later on in the review, but visually, I would say AC Unity is a good looking game.
Tu ne sais pas gagner sans tricher, alors il faut que tu voles, mon dit chien!
Du calme, Victor, je suis juste venu pour ma montre.
C'est ma montre, je l'ai gagnée à
Ce
l'honnête!
serait ton avis si on vivait dans un monde honnête, Victor, mais ce n'est pas le cas. On est en France.
Je vais te tuer!
I played the game in French, and I also did my playthrough with the French voices and the English subtitles. Why? Because when I heard those British accents on characters that was supposed to be from France, it didn't make sense. And it was actually horrible, since I speak both languages. You know, it was horrible. Trust me, people. It was not good to hear that. It's like, let's say, GTA 5, instead of English voices by default, you had French voices. That wouldn't make sense, right? Because GTA is probably happening in the US. It's the same thing here, you know? But, coming back to the review, the voice acting was good overall. I only remember one line that was off, but overall it was convincing. On the other hand, the soundtracks was pretty good. You had some really nice music that set the mood, even though sometimes it was a little bit too low or too subtle, I would say. But for the most part, it was pretty good. Sometimes you didn't even need any soundtracks since people were singing. So yeah, for the voice acting and the soundtrack, AC Unity did a good job. But now, you know what time it is. Let's talk about the gameplay. For the gameplay, AC Unity can be divided into three. First, you have the stealth, second, the combat, and finally in third, the open world activities. For the stealth, most missions can be approached the way you want. There is never only one way to go about it. You can choose to do it as the developers wanted you to do it, or you can create your own path. And here's something interesting. In most missions, there are optional objectives. Some of them are going to unlock unique ways to kill your target, or they are going to make some part of the missions easier. For example, in this mission, I need to kill one guy that is on the ground. and I have two optional objectives. The first one is to do some sabotage, and the second one is to save some people around there. Now, let's say I want to do those objectives. I cover up these parts so that downstairs the smoke should not come out. I save these guys by killing the guards, and they are happy. They take the weapons of the guards and they start attacking other guards, which makes a lot of noise. Now, when I get downstairs, this is what happened.
Que s'est-il passé? Les mendiants, ils se soulèvent dans tout le quartier. Vous autres, venez avec moi.
After this, I kill my target and I want to escape. Remember, I cover up these parts so that the smoke should not come out, and now that I want to escape, there is a lot of smoke all around, which makes my escape easier. On the other hand, if I don't want to do those optional objectives, it's fine. You know, I can still complete the mission, but things are going to be slightly different. When I'm going to get downstairs, the guard that previously moved because of the noise are not going to move. They're going to stay there, and I will have to kill more guards before getting to my target. And now, after killing my target, to escape, there's not going to be smoke, and I will have to kill more guards to escape. So this type of stuff, they implemented that in all the assassination missions, and I found it really interesting, even though sometimes some of these optional objective, I didn't really saw their effect during the missions. You know, it wasn't completely working everywhere, but overall it was pretty good. Of course, being an assassin, you have a bunch of weapons that can help you kill people without being seen. You can also customize your character, but it's not only going to be a visual thing, because each part has its own characteristics. Some are going to add more health, some are going to add more points to your melee so that you could kill enemies easily, or some are going to add more points to the stealth so that the detection time is reduced. Now, you can choose to wear the standard outfit of the previous AC games, which is cool, but of course, you will have to unlock them. So, depending on your playstyle, you can choose a different outfit, which is pretty cool. In all of this, there are two things that I didn't like. The first thing is the AI. The AI in this game has some weird reactions. For example, when the AI see a dead body, right? They come near the body, obviously, which is good. They check around to see if the killer is still there, which is also good. But after that, if they don't see you, they just go back to what they were doing, which is not okay. It doesn't make sense. Come on. You see a dead body and, well, it's just a dead body. I'll go back to what I was doing. No, it doesn't work that way. Now, they could have fixed that by adding levels of difficulty, which is the second thing that I didn't like in this game. You can't change the level of difficulty. It's by default. I don't know. You don't even have any level of difficulty in this game, which is something I don't like. For example, in Watch Dogs, the same situation in level hard, you know, in the hard difficulty, the AI sees you like if it was a real human. It should be the same thing in this game, but it's not. So to me, it's not okay. I don't like that. So those were the two things that I didn't like in the stealth aspect of this game, but overall it was pretty solid and enjoyable. The combat system in AC Unity is simple and effective. You can attack, you can dodge, and you can parry. Three things, very simple with some really good animations. You can also perform special attacks that will change depending on the weapon you have. Now, the big problem with this is the camera. I don't know why this is a common problem with these type of games, but just like in Batman Arkham Origins, the camera in this game does not help you. Most of the time you will get hit by the AI because the camera was focusing on two enemies on the screen, and then off screen you have one or two more enemies, and you will get hit by that just because of the camera. So you have to move it manually during the fight, which is sometimes a pain in the ass. So for the gameplay or the combat system, I would say that the camera was a problem, but the gameplay itself is good. Finally, when you're not playing the main missions, there are still a lot of things to do in Paris. Just by looking at the map, it's really impressive. You can solve crime scenes, you can solve riddles, you can of course do side missions, you can help out random people on the street, as well as do some random stuff, you know, like watching plays, looking at the view, doing things like that. And all of this is not really repetitive, and it adds a lot of content to the game, which is good. So for the gameplay, Ace Unity is a really good game, but unfortunately it had way too many technical issues. And I'm saying had because as I'm doing this review, most of these issues are fixed, even though with all of these patches they fixed some issues and they created new one. Like for example, right now I can't play this game when I'm connected to the PSN. If I do, the game's gonna crash, so I have to play offline, and that really sucks. And before those patches, there were some missions that I couldn't complete because, let's say, my target were invisible or my objectives were not showing up on the screen and I couldn't do anything. Your game should be working properly day one, and it was not the case with this game, which is extremely bad. Also, you had the frame rate. Oh man, the frame rate was crazy. In co-op missions, for example, it was crazy. Oh, let's talk about the co-op. The game doesn't have a multiplayer mode like the previous one, but instead has a co-op mode. You can play those missions by yourself, or you can play it with another friend, or you can play it with 3 other people. That means 4 players for one mission. Specifically, those 4-player missions had a lot of problems. It was laggy, it has like crazy problems, especially this one. This one is the worst. In this part of the mission, throughout the end, oh man, you have problems everywhere. You don't know what to do. Like, it's a mess. It is a mess. Missions with 2 players had less problems, but still some lag issues. So yeah, overall the co-op could have been good if the game was stable, I would say. I will conclude by saying that Assassin's Creed Unity is a good game, but it could have been way better without those technical issues. Like, the game could have been really great without those. And even though as I'm doing this review, most of these issues are fixed, like I said, I'm basing this on how the game was day one. You know, how the game was at launch. And saying that, I'm giving Assassin's Creed Unity a score of 16.5 out of 20. Yes, we, I know, another 16.5, but what do you want me to do? They gave us a semi-broken game. I don't know what that happened. Maybe it's because, you know, they're doing this game every single year. I don't know. But yeah, there you have it. That was my review on Assassin's Creed Unity. Thanks for watching. Check out my previous reviews, and I will see you on the next one. Alright, God bless you. Bye bye.